Men are distracted by women, and women, on the other hand, are distracted by sex. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that men are always lustful, or even that women are obsessed with physical pleasure. No. Instead, I'm highlighting the psychological vulnerability points in relational energy when self-awareness is lacking. It's about what each gender is unconsciously chasing and how that chase often distracts them from alignment. No. Like, let's start with men being distracted by women. Men are not distracted by the body of a woman. They are often distracted by what she represents. Validation of masculinity, a mirror of worthiness, a sense of accomplishment, like, hey, I got her. Comfort, nurture, or even mother energy they never healed from. An ideal to possess or protect. In unhealed men, women become symbols more than humans. So, he may chase women for ego instead of connection. Confuse attention for love. He may overextend financially or emotionally for performance. Lose his purpose or even mission while orbiting her presence. Abandon self-development just to keep her. In this state, a woman doesn't just distract him. She derails him from his masculinity center. Yeah, his masculine center. He stops leading. He stops building. He stops grounding and becomes a performer. Not because of her, but because of how he sees her. On the other hand, how are women distracted by sex? This may sound ironic, but it speaks to the emotional blindness, not lust. Many women, especially those starved of emotional intimacy, always confuse sex for love. They confuse sex for security, for validation, for emotional closeness, for power or control. They confuse sex for being chosen. When a woman hasn't healed from emotional neglect or even abandonment, then sex becomes currency to keep a man, to feel desired, to validate her femininity, to manipulate closeness. She may become hypersexualized or overly available, not because she loves sex, but because she is hoping it will create a bond that love never secured. Now, in this state, sex becomes the stage, not the expression of love. She is distracted from her own emotional needs, and she thinks physical access equals emotional safety. But here's the deeper truth. When a man is distracted by women, he forgets his purpose. And when a woman is distracted by sex, she forgets her power. And when both are operating from distraction instead of alignment, the man becomes a performer seeking applause, while the woman becomes a pleaser seeking attention. The connection becomes codependent, it becomes transactional and very, very draining. To evolve this, both must return to themselves. For the men, reconnect with your mission. See women not as validation, but as reflection. Ground your masculinity in self-leadership, not external chase. For the women, reconnect with your emotions. Use your body as a temple, not a tool. Ground your femininity in presence, not performance. Distraction is not about what's around you. It is about what is unhealed within you. When you're aware of what you chase, then you reclaim your power to choose. My people, heal. Heal.